Hello, in this video, we will solve this problem. If x is equal to sine inverse of sine 10 and y is equal to cos inverse of cos 10, then y minus x is equal to option A, pi, option B, 7 pi, option C, 0, option D, 10. To proceed, we have to realize that this 10 is a radian measure. It is not a degree measure. If it is in degrees, the answers would be different. So we have to take it as radian, and the usual convention is if no unit for angle is mentioned, we have to take it as radian. So it is 10 radian, but we will try to express this in terms of pi. Okay, we know that pi is 3.14. Okay, so 3 pi radian corresponds to 9.42 radian, and 4 pi radian corresponds to 12.57 radian. But we want to express 10 radians. So we can write that 10 radian as 3 pi plus some theta. Because 10 radian is in between 3 pi and 4 pi. And so we write it as 3 pi plus theta for 10. Okay, we just keep it like that. Then sine inverse of sine 10, you can't simply write it as 10. We can't write like this simply. You can write so provided this number which is coming here is within the domain, restricted domain of the sine function. So if you want to write the inverse of the sine function, or if you want to find the inverse of the sine function, that the domain of the sine function should be restricted. The principal branch says it is the interval should be, the restricted domain should be minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. In the number line, let's say this is minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. This is a restricted domain. Okay, so this should be between this. If the number coming here is 10 is within this interval, then you can straight away write sine inverse of sine x is equal to x, or sine inverse of sine theta equal to theta. But unfortunately this 10 is not within this interval. Why? Because this 10 radian happens to be 3 pi plus theta. Okay, this is minus pi by 2 here. So we try to express this sine 10 in suitable way. How is it done? Say we want first this sine 10 radian. First we'll find out in what quadrant it comes, 10 radian. So let's say like this. So this is pi, 2 pi, 3 pi plus something extra. Okay, I just draw a rough diagram. Right, this is 3 pi plus theta, but this is theta, but it is in third quadrant. Therefore sine 3 pi plus theta is minus sine theta. So sine 10 is equal to approximately sine 3 pi plus theta, which is equal to minus sine theta, because it is coming in the third quadrant. Third quadrant sine is negative. Again this is sine minus theta. Sine of this minus theta, go back here. So from this you get minus theta is equal to 3 pi minus 10. Therefore sine 3 pi minus 10. Understood? But 3 pi minus 10 is minus 0.58. This is minus 0.58 minus. And you see minus 0.58 is very well in this interval. Minus pi by 2, if you want, it is minus say 1.57. This will be plus 1.57. And 3 pi minus 10 happens to be minus 0.58. So it is very well within this interval. Therefore, we can say sine inverse of sine 10 is equal to sine inverse of sine 3 pi minus 10. Okay, sine inverse of sine 3 pi minus 10. Therefore, sine inverse of sine 10 is simply 3 pi minus 10. That is to say, x is equal to 3 pi minus 10. Proceeding further, so x is equal to this. Then we'll see what y turns out to be. Okay, we have to now find out cos inverse of cos 10. That is cos inverse of, as before, cos 3 pi plus theta. Now the domain of this cos function, just to find its inverse, should have restricted domain. It should be from 0 to pi. Go to the number line, 0 pi. That is 3.14. So the interval is this. Okay, I'm drawing rough diagram. So between this 0 to pi. Now let's consider this 3 pi plus theta, which is in the third quadrant. So cos 3 pi plus theta, which is in the third quadrant. Of course, third quadrant cos function also negative. So minus cos theta. Minus cos theta, you cannot write it as cos minus theta as you did for sine function. But here, this is cos pi minus theta. We can write like this. So this is equal to cos pi minus theta will be how much? We have to go back because we already said that 10 is equal to 3 pi plus theta. So minus theta will be, take this minus theta this side, 3 pi minus 10. So pi plus 3 pi minus 10. So this happens to be cos 4 pi minus 10. Okay, cos 4 pi minus 10 happens to be, this value happens to be, this happens to be 2.57. 2.57. Okay, this is 5. I write once again if you want. 2.57. You see 2.57 is very well within this interval. Therefore, we have cos 10 is equal to cos 4 pi minus 10. Therefore, cos inverse of cos 10 is equal to cos inverse of cos 4 pi minus 10. So this is simply 4 pi minus 10. Okay. So your y is equal to 4 pi minus 10 according to the question. We have to find out y minus x. Y is 4 pi minus 10 minus x we already found. What here? So 3 pi minus 10. So minus of 3 pi minus 10. So this is 4 pi minus 10 minus 3 pi plus 10. Okay. So plus 10 and minus 10 you can cut. We have y minus x is equal to 4 pi minus 3 pi is pi. Therefore, y minus x is equal to pi. So going to the question, we have the answer as option A. Option A. Okay. Thank you.